The ship sailed north in fear and wonder to pierce the veil of the unknown world. Those are the words of author Andrea Pitzer as she tried to capture the travail of 16th century Dutch explorer William Barents. He and his crew edged ever further into the unknown, uncharted waters of the polar north. Maybe we ought to pause around that today. Isn't this common to life? Faced with the unknown, the uncharted, unknown dimensions of where we've never been before. Maybe it's in relationships, or maybe it's stumbling into the second half of life. Or maybe you felt untethered when the company you work for is sold, or maybe it's when a loved one dies, or seeing financial security begin to erode. How well do you navigate the unfamiliar? How well do you pierce the veil of the unknown world? Oh, there's so many different responses when we become unnerved or are threatened. There are the situational specific fears, like the fear of flying or snakes or public speaking. Those will often go away when the threat's gone. But then there are the chronic fears, the fear of failure, not measuring up, of disapproval or rejection. And fear responses are not merely emotional. The body feels it as the heart rate increases, and so does the breathing, the butterflies and the nausea, the chills and trembling. Medical advisor and practitioner Dr. Daniel Brennan says that while short-lived, he says day-to-day fears may be beneficial because it alerts us to perceived threats. But long-carried fears, chronic fears, require really better self-care, better care in the mind and spiritual health. You know, God knows our frailty. He does, and his intervention is timely and timeless for whatever unknown world we might be afloat in. It's interesting, the nation of Israel, when they were on the verge of national collapse, God's repeated refrain from them, I think, is something we can take to heart. It's Isaiah chapter 41, verse 10. It says, "Fear not, I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will hold you up with my victorious right hand." I like the fact that it starts with assurance. I've never met anyone that, no matter how well they hide their fear, that they're not looking for some kind of assurance. And God's assurance is, "I am with you." 16 times in the Bible, that phrase is repeated, that God introduces himself to say, "I am with you. I am enough to displace your fears." He's the defense, really, for the demoralized, the isolated, the weak, and the drained. He assures us that he's present, and he strengthens us. He supplies in us what we lack. He's our helper. He holds us up with his victorious right hand. Oh, to pierce the veil of the unknown world. He's the very present God. Will you accept his leadership and his forgiveness, no matter what uncharted waters you're afloat in?